Good evening, race fans. Welcome to today's Metro Ford Cup Series event at the Old Bastards Racing League. As always, brought to you by Metro Ford, providing you the best in trucks that you can find anywhere in the United States. Thank you, Patrick Milligan. He's the guy to get you financed. Check him out at emetroford.com. And if you want to join the action here with the Old Bastards Racing, obrl.com, obrl.racing, or just good old-fashioned oldbastardsracing.com. On behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, I'm James Easton in the booth, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second. And always a great time to be out here with one of our favorite leagues, a bunch of great guys that are out there right now for single car qualifying. You're watching Steve the Mule Thompson here at Pocono, the tricky triangle, where things can very quickly get very exciting for all of our esports athletes. We talked to some of the drivers before today's broadcast, had the opportunity to brush shoulders with some of the racers, and we are giving a little bit of a heads up saying, hey, it's very loose on fresh tires and gets tight as the run goes on. The draft in these cars is very, very strong, but it can really tighten up in the corners. If you don't know what that means, loose means the car wants to over-rotate and spin to the inside of the racetrack, and tight means you push it outside. So the joke is loose means you hit the inside wall, tight means the car hits the outside wall. It'll be an aero-heavy race here today as all these guys are going to try and stay in single file line once they get things sorted out. And the predictions from some of the drivers were if it's green, it'll be a one-stop race to split it in half. And the prediction for some of the drivers is, hey, this thing could go green if we get past the first 5 laps. But as we know, racing can get exciting no matter what. We've seen a lot of good green flag runs here at the OBRL League, so this has the potential to be another green flag from start to finish. Manufacturer points still in effect. All of these guys racing hard, trying to win their manufacturer the season championship. You've got Toyota out front with 810 points. Chevy is in second place with 789 points. And then Ford, our friends at Ford, lagging behind, 727 points on the board. As always, we appreciate Pete Kopko keeping track of those points for everybody in the league and your broadcasters. Speaking of Metro Ford, there's Patrick Milligan's own number 18 machine, the Interstate Batteries car out there, always looking great. And you will notice there's going to be a few cars that do not qualify today. There's, I believe, 3 rookies out on track. You've got Randy Bott in the 169, Robert Chiswick in the number 120. And I believe Chuck Runyon in the 106 will be our 3 rookies out there today. So how do you signal, hey, who's the rookie and who's the pros out here at OBRL? The rookies will be running 3-digit numbers until they are allowed to join the big dogs. And they will not be able to qualify. They will have to start from the back for their races to prove they can stay below the minimum incident points per race and per lap. And then they'll be out there racing with everyone else side by side. And we've seen rookies come through the pack before and have great races, so you could very well see one of those guys running up front towards the end of the race. Only one pre-race penalty was delivered. That was going to be Everhart, old Titanium, getting an EOL for the start. I believe he found himself in a couple of accidents last week, or maybe just one accident. Last week we were at New Hampshire. That was a fun one. That was won by Tom Ogle with the old podium sweep. And then next week, we have an off week here at the OBRL League for the Metro Ford Cup Series. So everybody gets a nice little break on a Sunday, and then they go to Watkins Glen International August 8th. The boys start turning right, so that'll be very, very exciting. I'm looking forward to that one. The caliber of drivers here has been very, very impressive. They're all very, very clean. So if these guys can get out there and push that hard that we've been seeing all season long on a road course, it's going to be a spectacular show. Travis Rogers currently on top of provisional pole. Dwayne MacArthur second. Steve Thompson third. But keep an eye on Thompson. He's won at Pocono already this season, so it is a favorite track for him. Tom Ogle, the number 11 White Claw machine, he's going to come in early from his cycle and not try to put down a qualifying, I don't believe. Dot Hoskins, the number 66 Ford, he's out there charging hard. Always a easy to spot race car at all the tracks we go to on the circuit, as it is always bright green and yellow. Easy to spot Dot out there charging hard. So we had somebody ask, hey, what is the incident limits for these races? And that is a great question. The biggest thing they look at OBRL is the incidents per lap. After 4 races, the numbers start to work themselves out, and you can kind of see who's having a little bit of a tough time holding on to it and who's out there racing very clean. So here at OBRL for the Metro Ford Cup Series, they're expecting less than a 0.031 incidents per lap. And the thing is, it behooves all the drivers to stay out as long as physically possible, because if you have a big incident early on in the race on lap 2 and come in, that's going to jack your IPL through the roof, as you still have the same amount of incidents. But if you have that incident early on, you complete your race and keep out there charging hard and running clean, you've got a much better shot of lowering that IPL. If your IPL gets too high, you can expect to find yourself with EOLs, occasionally parked, stuff like that. And that's these guys are out here with the intent to race clean, race hard, and race often. The IPL is tracked differently across all of the series they run here at OBRL. So if you have a bad night here at the Metro Ford Cup Series, but you come out and you race one of the OBRL other leagues, such as ARCA, Trucks, Xfinity, you can still have a fresh slate for different series. So just because you have a bad season even in one discipline, you can go out there and race the other ones, and no harm, no foul, as long as you're racing clean. Rogers still on top of provisional pole. You're watching Kopko with the number 3 machine. The man behind the scenes keeps tracks of all the manufacturer points for us. An absolute character on and off the racetrack. We saw early on this season, Kopko got in the infield at one of the speedways. I believe it might have been Atlanta Motor Speedway, and launched the number 3 car through the air, 5 feet high, 20 feet, 30 feet long. Distance-wise, he was airborne. Lands back on his wheels and gets back out there racing. So always an entertainer on and off the track, and great to see him out there. Hopefully number 3 machine can put down a great qualifying time here today and get towards the top. He put down a 55.39 his first time by. And qualifying has made its way to a close here. So Kopko, I don't believe he got a great time there, so let's see here. But let's take it to tonight's grid for the main event. Up front, you've got Travis Rogers, the number 72 machine. Dwayne MacArthur, the fast Canadian, starting second on the front row. Steve Thompson starting third. Josh Robinson will be starting fourth. Greg McDaniel starting fifth. Patrick Milligan starting sixth. Al Turner starting seventh. Brian Lindsay eighth. Dean Greer ninth. Mike Schrader will be starting 10th. Dakota Pischke starting 11th. Andrew Hess starting 12th. Pete Kopko Cocoa Puff starting 13th. Brian Lynch 14th. Jim Westerfield 15th. Brian Glass will be starting 16th. Henry Besaw starting 17th. Robert Crisco 18th. John Mankowski starting 19th. Gary Kipfer starting 20th. Jonathan Green, a former rookie, just got his pro numbers. He's starting 21st tonight. Dodd Hoskins starting 22nd. Bruce Pearson starting 23rd. Tom Ogle with Team Miata starting 24th. Then you've got Ken Huff starting 25th. Chuck Runyon, the rookie, starting 26th. John Hastings starting 27th. Randy Bott, another rookie, starting 28th. Eric Whiting, 29th. Lewis Albee starting 30th. And then Robert Chiswick starting 31st to round out our field, our massive field here at Pocono. The Tricky Triangle, as they call it. And it is going to be a good one here today, folks. We're going to get these guys gridded up, send them out. It's going to be a great race. 78 laps at the Tricky Triangle. Now, last time they were at Pocono, that was June 27th, where we saw Steve, the Mule Thompson, bring it up on the top spot. Dwayne MacArthur got second at that race. And Patrick Milligan, the man in Ford himself, he got third, the podium spot. And guys, let me tell you, the championship is all but decided. You've got Joshua Robinson out front. He's first in points. Dwayne MacArthur second. Andrew Hess third. Tom Nogle fourth in points. And then you've got Patrick Milligan fifth in points. Less than about 100 points separate all these top drivers. So still lots of racing left in the season, as all these guys are going to be pushing very, very hard to try and get that prestigious championship here at the Metro Ford Cup Series. We're starting round 23 at Pocono. 37 races total in the championship, as we're going to get ready to bring that iRacing Ford Mustang pace car into pit lane, and we're going to get this party started here at the Metro Ford Cup Series. Pace car is in. All eyes on Travis Rogers. He's on the inside lane at 72. Gets a great launch. He's accompanied by Steve the Mule Thompson on the inside line. Dwayne MacArthur and Greg McDaniel there on the high line. You've also got Josh Robinson, number 23 machine. He's going to be pushing very hard early on. We were given a heads up from the drivers. If we're going to see anything spectacular happen, it's most likely to be the first 5 laps, as the cars are a little bit slippery, as you see Rogers really carrying some slip angle out of turns 1. Steve the Mule Thompson, he's in second. Dwayne MacArthur third. And look at that massive field here today at Pocono. You're watching Steve Thompson currently running second on the track right now. Still early on in the race. But Steve Thompson, he is one of the fan favorites to win it here today at Pocono. This is one of his favorite tracks at the Tricky Triangle. But Travis Rogers, number 72 machine, he's out front doing well. Rogers is one of those guys that's been getting faster and faster all season long. We've seen Rogers lead some laps midway through the season, and unfortunately pit strategy kind of stole those wins away from him. So good to see Rogers in the 72 out front charging hard. Still got side-by-side action. That's Brian Lindsay. He's down 3 spots, the number 24 machine. Dakota Pischke, Pete Kopko getting by. Brian Lindsay getting hung out to dry on that inside line. All those guys carrying that draft, able to carry more speed around him on the outside line. Now Lindsay's going to go side-by-side with the number 30, or the number 15, Brian Lynch. And Man, they're all shuffling back and forth back here. You got side-by-side action for 8th, as well as Mike Schrader. He is up 2 spots. He's around Dean Greer. Right in front of him, you've got Patrick Milligan, the number 18 machine. We've clicked off 3 laps so far. The leader, Travis Rogers is going to get ready to start our 4th lap. We're getting a little bit closer and closer to that safety window where it's going to kind of signal we've got a good chance of going green. As all these guys still trying to get sorted out where they want to go. Mike Schrader looks to the inside line of Josh Robinson coming out of the turn 4 area of Raceway. But look at that, Schrader unable to keep the draft with his friends. That's going to allow Thompson to pull pretty far back up front. As Thompson, he's clicking off laps here behind Travis Rogers and Dwayne MacArthur. He's in tow in 3rd place. Greg McDaniel 4th and Al Turner in 5th. As we're starting to get a little bit of a breakaway, I think that's Al Turner. Has a little bit of internet problems there. Hope we can get it sorted out. Five cars you're seeing on track right now. They have broken away from the pack. The back of that caboose, that's going to be Al Turner, the number 76 machine. Turner, he's about 1.7 seconds back, or ahead, from the rest of the field. So these guys able to break down single file early on and just put their heads down, click off some laps. It is a long race for these drivers. They've got 78 laps. We're expecting pit stops around that halfway mark, between lap 36 to 42. So it'll be interesting to see what the strategy is as tonight progresses. Travis Rogers getting a little bit of breakaway himself. He's got about a half second above Steve the Mule Thompson going into turn 3. Now, tire wear is always a major factor for any of the OBRL races. Anybody, well, I don't want to say anybody, but a lot of people can go out there and hot lap and put down a blistering fast lap time, but the finesse comes into late in the run on who can save the most tires and make average lap times that are just a little bit lower than the rest of their competitors. Travis Rogers doing a great job. He's out there charging hard into turn 1. Behind him, Thompson, MacArthur, McDaniel, Turner, all in that top pack. Travis Rogers finds himself about 3 seconds ahead of that second pack, led by Patrick Milligan's number 18 machine. Milligan currently running 6th, exactly where he started, as it appears most of the field has broken single file here. They're going to be clicking off some laps, trying to get some fuel window done. Now Rogers, he's one of those drivers that's still looking for his first win for OBRL. He's gotten close a couple times and unfortunately snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. So this is also Travis Rogers' first year with OBRL after he got back into sim racing after a long hiatus. He loves the competition, the friendly atmosphere. And let's see if the driver that owns the construction company in Louisville, Kentucky can get out there. Now, I believe Rogers may have merged teams with Michael Titanium Everhart in Throwback Racing, so we're going to get an update from him later on in the run, but that may be an interesting develop as well. So some of the drivers do race in teams to work together and try and get faster and faster. That's a great wide angle shot here at Pocono. Shows you just how spread out the field. That's the top 5 on screen right now in that wide angle shot across the infield. And then Patrick Milligan, he's leading the second pack. He's got a lot of company from Dean Greer, the number 92 machine, who looks like he came in flying hot out of turn 2. Milligan, a frequent front runner. He's had a little bit of bad luck so far this season, but he's going to try and maintain that race pace. I believe it was last week at New Hampshire. He did not have a whole lot of fun. Milligan finished 20th after disconnecting with an early night. He was 108 laps down from the leader, but he's going to be back out here charging hard today, trying to make up some points on his friends and competitors. Consistency wins championships, and unfortunately Milligan just had a rough go of it last week. Still 5th in points, so still within striking distance and able to make it to the chase later on this season as well. Now, Milligan, he was the 2019 Cup champion, trying to get out there again for the 2021 season and make it happen. And again, he's the guy, emetroford.com. Patrick Milligan can and will get you financed. They've got the biggest selection of trucks out there right now, so check them out, emetroford.com. As the head honcho charging hard in the number 18 machine, trying to make something happen. He's accompanied by Dean Greer, the number 92. Greer appears to be looking for that pass. He could also be just trying to push Milligan up to the front. About 2.6 seconds separates them from the lead pack. But Dean Greer is going to look to the inside here. Into turn 2, thinks better of it. So if you may be asking, hey, why do we call it the tricky triangle? The broadcaster keeps saying that. What's that about? So it's got 3 very different corners here at Pocono, designed after 3 very famous turns. So turn 1 is modeled after Trenton Speedway. Turn 2, also known as the tunnel turn, it's modeled after Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And then turn 3, the flattest of the corners, only a 6-degree banking. It's modeled after the Milwaukee Mile. So this is definitely a very different track from what some of these competitors are used to. 3 very different corners, 3 different driving styles that are needed to get through and get through quickly. And just 1 lapse of judgment and you can find yourself kissing that outside wall here at Pocono. But all these guys doing a great job so far keeping it clean. Dakota Pischke, he's in a side-by-side battle. That was Andrew Hess, the number 54 machine. Mike Schrader, number 4, he's going to stay right behind Pischke and try and edge out Andrew Hess. We've made it 12 laps green so far. We've got about 20-ish to go before we open up our fuel window for these drivers. And all the way across the racetrack, we've got great racing. You're watching Jonathan Green, the rookie, in the Oakley-sponsored number 37 machine. He's got Bruce Pearson in front of him, John Hastings behind him, and look at that pack behind him is Chuck Runyon, the rookie, and the 106 machine. He's around John Hastings and Lewis Albee. So the rookie charging hard of Runyon, trying to get out there in his Toyota. And he is definitely getting no breaks from his competitors. He's got a graduate of the rookie school, Green, right in front of him. So we'll have to keep an eye on the 106 later on the run. He is our highest running rookie right now. You've got Randy Bott in the 169 machine, the Ford. He's running 30th place. And then Robert Chiswick, he's running 31st place in the 120 machine, the Ford. So some of the guys happy to get out there, click off some good, clean laps. Up front, things are getting a little bit stacked up as Rogers appears to be just a little bit tight coming out of turn 4. Steve Thompson may capitalize here in the number 67 machine. Now Thompson, he's got a new hood decal now. He's running that in honor of his friend Gary Corbett, an OBRL racer that recently lost the battle with cancer. So good to see Thompson out there supporting his friend still in the Gary Corbett graphic on the front of that number 67 machine. This is your top 5 right now on track. It's Rogers, Thompson, MacArthur, McDaniel, Turner, all the top 5. A blanket could separate them. They've got about a 4-second gap to the second pack on the raceway that's led by Patrick Milligan, currently in 6th. Milligan has Robinson, Westerfield, Pischke, and Greer all in tow with him. Man, what a cool shot here at Pocono. Shows how massive this field of drivers really is. And they are just clicking off good, clean laps and making a great race of it. All these guys, friends on and off the track, always having a great time. They run ARCAs, trucks, Xfinity, and Cup cars. So 4 races a week, but even on the off nights, they're hanging out together, doing practice sessions, working on their racecraft. As Rogers getting several laps led here, doing a great job just clicking them off. Now Rogers, he is 16th in points so far this season. He has had 19 starts, 8 DNFs, qualified pole twice, and 1 top 5. But unfortunately, again, that win is still eluding the number 72 machine. A very clean driver for the most part. He's well below the minimum incidents per lap. He's got a .02 incident per lap average. So let's see, can we see Rogers, the number 72 machine, finally break his streak of bad luck and bring home a win? Or will it be Steve Thompson, who is like a tiger stalking his prey out there in the number 67 machine? The statistical favorite to win here at Pocono. Lap 17 out of 78. They're about halfway to that expected fuel window, so maybe about a quarter of the way through their race as far as pit stops and strategy is going to go. Lap times have fallen out a fair amount. Rogers' best of the race so far was a 55.42. His last time by, a 57.49. So the cars will start tightening up, and they'll have to back up those brake markers going into all of the corners. Let's look at this. Steve Thompson looks like he may be thinking about a pass here. Al Turner, number 76 machine, was looking to the inside of Greg McDaniel, was not able to make it with the run out of turn 4 down the start-finish line straight. And now you've got a couple different packs forming up. So you've got the top 5 pack led by Rogers, and the caboose would be Al Turner. Then you've got another 3-car pack. They're about 3 seconds back from the leader. That's Patrick Milligan, Josh Robinson, and Jim Westerfield all running in tow. And then once you go back to 9th place, you've got Mr. Dakota Pischke in the number 1, and he's leading about 10 cars down the backstretch. So 3 different packs starting to form up. And that is good news for the top 2 packs. If these guys can do their pit cycles together and come back out and maintain that draft partnership, they can extend that lead and keep running hard and avoid any heavy racing later on in the run. We're going to cycle back further in the field. You got Pete Coco Puffs. He's running 10th place, up 3 spots so far. He's trying to chase down Dakota Pischke in the number 1 because behind him, a swarm of drivers. Andrew Hess, Dean Greer, Brian Glass, Tom Ogle, Robert Crisco. A lot of fast drivers in this pack. Kopko's running 10th, so really 10th to 20th running very, very close together, or 10th to 18th. You got a second pack behind those guys, led by Gary Kipper in the number 68, running the Chevrolet out there today. Hoskins in the number 66, Brian Lynch in the 15. They're all running together. But man, this front pack running very, very tight. A lot of extremely talented drivers out there. Most of these drivers, sans Rogers, do have wins so far this season. MacArthur, he's got 1 win so far this season. Thompson has 3 wins. McDaniel still has a win eluding him as well. And I believe Al Turner has not won yet. Let me double check on that one. And Al Turner searching for his first win. So a good potential for a lot of drivers in the top 5 to bring home their first win here today at Pocono. As Travis Ryder's been doing a great job all night leading this party around the tricky triangle. No sign of slowing down. But it's Steve Thompson just playing it safe and waiting for a good opportunity to get by the number 72 machine late in the run, allowing Rogers to burn up just a little bit more fuel than the number 67 machine of Steve Thompson. And then Dwayne MacArthur, number 97, the fast Canadian. He's been out front all season long with his fair share of wins and a whole handful of top 5s. So many talented drivers out here today as we get ready to start lap 22 of 78. Chiswick, the rookie, he comes in. He's going to go a lap down in the number 31 machine. The most important thing, he's back out there still driving the race car, his Metro Ford sponsored Ford Mustang. Randy Bott out there in a Ford as well. So a couple of rookies out there representing the company well. Doing a good job. Just trying to click off some laps, learn as much as they can from these very talented racers. As this has got to be one of the cleanest leagues you can join on the iRacing service. Minimum requirements, 35 years of age. And a clean safety record. Again, they have that rookie system in place where you have to prove to yourself and the competitors around you that you can run good long races and be clean the entire time. But if you're looking to get on the action here today, check them out, obrl.racing, and you can get in on any of the series they run. We broadcast their Sunday Metro 4, their Premier Series, the Cup Series, every Sunday, with qualifying starting at 11:30, drivers meeting at 11:20. And then a whole lot of great racing every Sunday. Again, we're off next week. But then we come back for Watkins Glen, which will be nothing short of spectacular as we watch these drivers for the first time as my time broadcasting here for OBRL tackle a few right-handers. So that'll be a great experience for guys on the track, in the booth, or at home watching from the comfort of their living room. Steve Thompson, your race leader now. Staying out front, charging hard. Rogers, he's down. We saw him lose those 2 spots to Thompson. And Rogers is going to go to the back of this for this 5-car pack here. So I'm not sure if he's looking for an early pit stop or maybe trying to watch what these guys in front of him are doing. All these drivers very, very smart. They will watch what their competitors are doing and pick up on where they're entering the corners, how hard they're getting on the brakes, and when they're getting back on. And a little bit of monkey see, monkey do, watching your competitors, trying to learn as much, take as much data as you possibly can. And that's these guys' most valuable tool for all of these races is their notebook. They take track notes on what and when and where and how they should be doing everything. And as the experience increases, they're able to get out there and click off those things, kind of second nature. And not have to think so much, and it becomes muscle memory on where to lift, how to save tires. Steve the Mule Thompson, he's accompanied by Dwayne MacArthur and Greg McDaniel, your top 3. Steve Thompson, he's the odds-on favorite to win it here. There's still a whole lot of racing going on here. That's Kopko. He has got Brian Glass and Mike Schrader in front of him, as well as Robert Crisco, John Mankowski, Brian Lindsay, all in this pack here trying to get something sorted out. If you get out of that inside line, things can get decided. But look at that. There's Tom Ogle. He's trying to get the inside of Dean Greer, the number 92 machine. He's going to slide back up the raceway. And Ogle, he is up 13 spots in his Toyota Camry so far, currently running 11th place on lap 25. An interesting rule they have at OBRL, you must be in the Discord channel during the race. That way if there's any big incidents, admins can call out, assign EOLs if warranted. And Dwayne MacArthur, he is glued to the back of Steve Thompson's number 67 machine. MacArthur doing a fantastic job. You see a little bit of side-by-side action between Greg McDaniel and Al Turner. McDaniel the number 30, Turner the number 76 machine. They're going to go side-by-side down the backstretch. The camera focused on those guys. And McDaniel, he's running the high line. Then he's got Al Turner, and it looks like Rogers trying to make something work on the inside going into one. Not sure if Rogers is going to have the drive out on the backstretch. They're going to go side-by-side, but Greg McDaniel will have the draft support of Al Turner. Oh, look at that. Rogers working the side draft. Trying to slingshot his way back up there. So well done to Rogers. That was a pretty clean pass, especially without the draft support. So now he's going to fall in line behind Al Turner. Try and get back to the rear bumper of the number 76 machine. So we mentioned it early on in the broadcast that Toyota was leading the Manufacturers Cup with 810 points. Right now, 4 out of the top 5 cars all are Chevrolet. Chevrolet has 789 points. Your race leader, Steve the Mule Thompson, he's the lone Toyota up there in a sea of Chevys. We're going to take you on board with Dwayne MacArthur for a lap. I'll let you listen to those engines. I'm going to take a quick water break, but we'll be right back. Don't miss any of the actions. These guys are driving very, very hard, and we expect to do that all the way through here tonight at Pocono. We are back after a little bit of a hiccup. My apology there, folks. Not quite sure what happened, but we're seeing it get faster and faster as MacArthur and Dwayne late in this run have dropped about 0.3 of a second from what they were doing just several laps ago. If I was a betting man, and I am, I think that they were trying to utilize that draft, and that was allowing them to get just a little bit quicker. As fuel window will officially open for these drivers, you can expect to see them come in anywhere between now and when the tanks are bone dry. So some guys are going to try and come in early, get fresh 4 good years and a tank of gas on their machine, and then get back out there. But I think what you're going to see here is the top 3 guys running out till it's almost empty and then come in for their pit cycle. We are at the halfway mark here at Pocono. And let's see who's going to be the first of the top 3 drivers to bring it into pit lane. I'm predicting we're going to see them hanging out as much as they can. This is going to allow, look at this, Patrick Milligan. He's moved up to the top 5 spot here. Milligan, the number 18 machine, he's about 3 seconds back from the race leader, Steve Thompson. But that is a good sign very late in the run. That's going to allow him to maybe catch these guys on pit road and at least stay in their draft. Behind Milligan, you got Travis Rogers, then the number 72 machine, our previous race leader, who has been unfortunately falling back just ever so slightly. Milligan, he's up 1 spot from where he started. Still running 5th place. Top 5 is still Thompson, MacArthur, Turner, Robinson, and Milligan. We were told lap 42 is probably the latest we will see drivers come in. So I'm guessing around lap 40, 41 is where we're going to see that pit cycle open. These drivers will try and allow themselves a little bit of a buffer in case they're not able to squeeze onto pit lane. As look at that, was that Al Turner with a big blink? The number 76 machine has a bit of a problem. Patrick Milligan, he's going to keep an eye on that since he's right behind him and catching up. Milligan getting faster and faster here. Starting to catch that draft of the top 3 drivers. Oh, look at that. Al Turner takes a peek at Dwayne MacArthur on the inside. Doesn't have anything to do with that little bit of a run there. And may stall out just a little bit here on the start-finish line stretch, not having the drive out of turn 4 that he was hoping for. So when are these guys going to begin that fuel cycle, take 4 fresh good years? They're about, on average, about 3 seconds slower than what they were early on in the run due to tire wear. And the pack being so stretched out here, but look at this, Milligan charging hard, trying to get up there. Josh Robinson, he's also somebody to keep an eye on. Robinson in the number 23 machine. We haven't seen a whole lot from him tonight. He's been playing it nice and safe. Started off 4th, currently in 4th. But he is our current points leader. He holds a 4-point advantage over Dwayne MacArthur in the number 97 machine. Other championship frontrunners we don't see up here right now. Andrew Hess, he's 3rd in points, currently 8th on track. Thomas Ogle, 4th in points. He's right behind Hess. He's running 9th on track. Steven Thompson, he's our race leader. He is 6th in points, but look at this. Here comes Josh Robinson, the number 23 machine. He's on the inside line behind Al Turner. Trying to get a little bit better spot to maybe, once he initiates that pit cycle, to have a better track position coming back out on track. Fuel window expected to close in about 4 laps. Robinson's been very, very quick all season long. He wants to get back out front and maybe try and dethrone Steve Thompson and Dwayne MacArthur from their top 2 spots. Now, Robinson's still running third, first in points, so he's looking good if we finish exactly where we do right here. As we see pit cycle starting to get initiated from some drivers. Mike Schrader, he's going to bring it into pit lane. But when are our 2 lead drivers, Steve Thompson and Dwayne MacArthur, going to make their way in as they come out of turn 2 at Pocono? And they are going to begin their pit cycle. Thompson, MacArthur are going to come into pit lane together. Josh Robinson, Al Turner is going to stay out. Expect to see them come the next time by. Milligan comes in. Rogers, McDaniel, Hess, Ogle, Pischke, Westerfield all coming into pit lane here. So Robinson going to try and stay out just a little bit longer. Let's see, Robinson looks like he's going to look like he was looking towards the apron there. So let's see, Robinson looks like he's going to stay out once more. He's going to run that number 23 machine all the way dry, that Toyota Camry out front. It's been Camrys out front pretty much all night long, but man, what a whole lot of Chevys still in the mix. In the top 10 right now, you've got 2 Toyotas, 1 Ford, and a whole lot of Chevrolets. Josh Robinson getting around lap traffic there. That's going to be the number 54 machine of Andrew Hess, or maybe Hess is going to get his lap back here. Hess has come out on those fresh tires. He pitted lap 39. Here comes Josh Robinson. He's going to look to the inside, and he's going to come into pit lane. Al Turner will follow. And if I'm looking at this right, Pete Kopko is going to get a lap lead here. And the number 3 machine, if he can get around Robinson and Turner before the line, who are currently in pit lane. No, unfortunately, Popko, he's going to come in as well as the number 92 of Dean Greer. So I believe your new race leader will be Dwayne MacArthur once they can get around lap traffic and cross the cars that show on pit lane technically in front of them. So new race leader will be Dwayne MacArthur in the number 97 machine. And I believe it's going to be Patrick Milligan showing in second place here. It's going to be tight between Josh Robinson, who just came out with the lap 41 pit stop, compared to Milligan with the lap 39 pit stop. Milligan does show in second place here in the number 18 machine. He's accompanied by Josh Robinson, the number 23. I would expect to see these 2 drivers work together just for a little bit, run that 2-car pack to chase down the 5-second lead that Dwayne MacArthur currently has on second place Patrick Milligan. Milligan in the Ford, Robinson in the Toyota, and MacArthur out front in the Chevy. 3 different manufacturers in the top 3 right now. But look at that big pack forming up behind these guys. It's the rest of the field coming out of their pit cycle, and they're going to find themselves surrounded by other drivers. Take it back just a little bit. You got Al Turner, Travis Rogers working together. Tom Ogle, he's back there in the bright pink White Claw machine. He's got about a 2-second gap over Dakota Pischke, who is followed by Westerfield and McDaniel. So my prediction is once these packs start working together, they will be able to get out there pretty quickly. Now, pit lane, we saw a couple interesting things. Steve Thompson had a very, very long pit stop. Not sure if he got a speeding penalty. He was in there for 55 seconds flat, so Thompson may have gotten a excessive speeding penalty on pit road. That's going to cycle back the odds-on favorite down 22 spots from where he started, currently running 25th place. More drama on pit road. Pete Kopko, he was in there for 1:11 inside his box. So several drivers appear to be having some big issues. Brian Glass, number 87 machine, his pit time was 87 seconds. Ken Huff, number 46, he was in there for 32 seconds. So I'm not quite sure what happened on pit road there, but all sorts of drama starting to shake up. As Patrick Milligan, Josh Robinson still working together. They've got a 5.6 second disadvantage to race leader Dwayne McCarthy. They're going to run nose to tail all the way around, trying to whittle away that gap because MacArthur, he is a man on a mission here today. MacArthur, he's got lap traffic to help him out with the draft. And he's extended that lead just a little bit, almost 6 seconds flat over second place Patrick Milligan. I believe that's Hoskins we see on screen in the bright yellow. Now that might have been not quite sure who that car was. Hoskins still shows on the lead lap. 26 drivers still on the lead lap out here today. As MacArthur with last-ditch racing in the number 97 machine, doing a great job, running very, very clean out front. A fairly comfortable gap out here today. But Josh Robinson, Patrick Milligan, they're going to work together very, very hard to try and get up. Behind them, you got another two-car pack, Al Turner, Travis Rogers. They're working together. Now, if these four cars can link up, they will really put down some speed and whittle away at that gap that MacArthur has. MacArthur, he's out there pushing air all by himself. He's losing a little bit of time. It's down to a 5.5 second gap. .32 laps remaining here at Pocono. Things could still happen as we saw Thompson have a very, very bad stroke of luck getting that speeding penalty on pit road. As you're watching Robinson and Milligan trying to catch up to your race leader, running in a two-car pack. Behind these guys, you've got Al Turner, Travis Rogers running together. It looks like Rogers is just going to be slightly out of the draft here, trying to catch up. Al Turner, he's trying to catch up to Patrick Milligan, stay in his draft. And then behind them, another two-car pack, Tom Ogle and Dakota Pischke running together, nose to tail. Talk a little bit back. You got good racing all across the racetrack. Here is 11th place Robert Crisco in the number 28 machine. He is up 7 spots from where he started. He's accompanied by Mike Schrader in the number 4. And then behind those guys, you've got Hoskins, Mankowski, Lindsay, Kipfer all in the mix here. A lot of great racing. As look at that, here comes Mankowski on the inside line of Hoskins, the number 93 machine, charging hard, trying to take away that 13th place spot. Lindsay, the number 24 machine, he's got a bit of a run. Not sure if he's going to have anything to do with it here. And Kip for number 68 says, hey, I'm going to watch you guys battle this out, and let's see where the cards fall. As these guys still battling hard. I mean, this is the battle right now on screen for 15, so all these guys willing to hang it out and push hard. And Racers Race, doesn't matter where you're at in the points championship, where you're at on the racetrack for position. If you've got cars for position around you, you're going to battle and hang it out. And these guys do such a good job of good, clean racing. We've went green so far for 49 laps. At this point in the run, I'm predicting we may be able to go green all the way to the end, as these guys are doing a very good job keeping it nice and clean. We're going to check back up front. Patrick Milligan has lost a little bit of time to second place Josh Robinson. But now he's got Al Turner in the number 76 machine to bring up a little bit of support. Turner, he also has Travis Rogers in tow. Milligan may be playing it safe here and trying to get a little bit of support from the guys behind him while also tire saving. All these guys very, very smart, very, very talented, able to put that down, that race knowledge they have, and get something working later on the run. Trying to pick up some drivers around them and maybe use that draft to their advantage. As Milligan, his last time by, was about 0.15 of a second off of Josh Robinson, your second place runner. Let's look and see what's going on with Dwayne MacArthur. He seems to have slowed down a fair amount. He's probably battling lap traffic if I was a guessing man. I believe that is the rookie we see behind him, Randy Bott, in the number 169 Ford. Bott finds himself about 2 laps down right now, but still out there running strong, keeping it clean, and getting some points on that rookie license, and just able to maintain. And that's the biggest thing, is get out there, get some seat time. As MacArthur, he'll get back on the loud pedal now. He's gotten through lap traffic, and he can hit his own marks and take it easy. He's got a bunch of clean air in front of him. 27 laps remaining for the main event at Pocono. As MacArthur had a little bit of luck, Thompson, he had that speeding penalty on pit road. It cycled him on way, way back to 21st. We're going to try and find a replay here, see if we can see what happened to Thompson coming into pit lane. That's very uncharacteristic for the number 67 Toyota. We're going to back that up just a little bit. I want to see what happens to Thompson here. And we're going to do, I'll tell you, we're going to do an onboard here. So Thompson, I think once he realized he got that speeding penalty, just tried to make up some time, perhaps. But hate to see that for Thompson. That's a very, very uncharacteristic thing we've seen out of Steve so far. And hate to see him get cycled all the way back to 21st. That could have been a fantastic race there at the end. As Dwayne MacArthur still out front, but look at this. Here comes Josh Robinson in the number 23 machine. He's been charging hard. He's up 2 spots from where he started, but he's been up at the front, and he's been towards the middle, and now he's trying to chase down Dwayne MacArthur. Patrick Milligan still running 3rd, Al Turner 4th, Travis Rogers 5th. And 25 laps to go here at Pocono. Josh Robinson looks like he's got a pretty good run here. He was about a half second faster that last lap than Dwayne MacArthur, your race leader. Now, MacArthur is very smart. I mean, all of these guys are very smart. MacArthur may be able to thinking, hey, let's take it easy here. We can let Robinson link up, and we'll race towards the end, but let's get in a little bit of a draft and maybe extend the lead over 3rd place. Robinson, he's about 2.5 seconds up over Patrick Milligan in the number 18 machine, currently running 3rd. I believe Milligan will be battling with lap traffic as well. As boy is he. That is a swarm of lap cars that Milligan is getting through here right now. So that may have been what slowed down Robinson just a bit and allowed, or slowed down MacArthur just a little bit and allowed Robinson to catch up. Now Milligan's going to have to very carefully navigate this traffic. He does have the advantage of using their draft. He's got 2 lap cars in front of him. But he's got to be very, very careful trying to get around these drivers. All these guys out on track battling for position. Milligan goes high, lap car. I believe that's the number 120 machine. That will be the rookie of Robert Chiswick. He's going to go to the inside, allow Milligan to get around. And now that'll be John Hastings that Milligan has to carefully navigate around. Hastings, he's your last car on the lead lap right now as it stands. Well, I guess I should say he's the first car a lap down because MacArthur and Robinson have already navigated around him. And here comes Milligan to the inside. Going to get through nice and clean. So now Milligan, he's got about a 2.9 second disadvantage to Josh Robinson and Dwayne MacArthur, who are running out front and doing it very, very strong, linking up nose to tail. 23 laps to go. These guys, I'm not sure what we're going to see here. We can see Robinson follow in tow. Generally, the rule for NASCAR is you don't want to be the first car on the lead lap. You want to be a little bit further back in the draft, but with a 2-car battle, I'm not sure where the perfect spot's going to be. As Milligan, he's trying to get back up there to the front of the guys. He's got a freight train of lap cars to help him out and maybe push, use that draft. But MacArthur and Robinson, they're going to link up, and they are not going to slow down much, if at all. Their last time by was 57.4s. Their best of the race was low 55s for MacArthur and a 55.68 for Robinson. So Robinson did not put down any blistering laps so far, but he has been very good on saving the tires of his Toyota, that number 23 machine, and finding himself in a great spot here as we close down the laps. 21 remaining. MacArthur doing his best of the RAG custom sponsored car. He races those cars in all 4 of the OBRL series. MacArthur has quite a bit of accomplishments under his belt. He won the 2020 Season 2 Xfinity Championship, the 2021 OBRL ARCA Champion. He was 2nd place in that ARCA Series in 2020. In 2020, he was also the Metro Ford Cup Series 5th place finisher. So a very consistent front runner for all of the OBRL leagues he runs in. But will he be able to bring it home at the tricky triangle of Pocono? MacArthur, he is 4 points down from Josh Robinson in the points chase. So this is the battle for both the lead of the race and this series championships points as we get ready to go into an off week next week. As I'm not sure, Milligan, he's still running back there in third place. He's whittled down that gap to 2.8 seconds, 19 laps to go. Is there going to be enough laps left in this bad boy to allow Milligan to get up there and battle for that top spot? Or are we going to see them settle down where they are? I don't know yet. It's way too early to guess because there's still going to be good racing going up front. As soon as MacArthur and Robinson start racing together, that'll slow them down and allow Milligan to catch up. Milligan doing a great job whittling away at that gap. We're going to cycle back in the field. You've got Andrew Hess, number 54 machine. Currently running 8th place on track right now. Behind him, Jim Westerfield in the 35. They're running and trying to get that 8th place spot secured, but the top 10 still not secured. Mankowski, he's followed by Mike Schrader, Robert Crisco, Hoskins. Man, what a fleet of drivers right there. This is your battle for top 10 on track. All these guys are experienced with years of sim racing, at least a century worth of sim racing with all these racers combined, their experience. And all these guys know when you find yourself surrounded by 30 very talented drivers, a top 10, a top 15, any of those type of finishes is a very, very good finish, especially being able to bring home a clean race car. As Mike Schrader's looking to the inside of Mankowski. The number 4 machine, the number 4 Ford, trying to get something happen. Mankowski's in that eggshell blue Busch-sponsored car. Mankowski's in the number 93 Chevrolet, so it's Ford and Chevy trying to secure that top 10 spot, help out their manufacturer's points chase just a little bit. But keep an eye on Robert Crisco in the number 28 machine. He also wants up there as well. Crisco in the aptly sponsored Crisco race car, the Ford Mustang. I appreciate that, Robert. That's a good tip of the hat to the last name. As someone with the last name East my entire life, I can understand having to enjoy those little jokes you hear all the time from everyone. So Robert Crisco embracing it in the number 28 machine, charging hard. Let's see here. Here comes Schrader in the number 4. He's going to look to the inside of Mankowski. Will he make it stick? And here comes Crisco as well to the inside. Rounding turn 2. They're going to go side by side. Schrader's got the top 10. Mankowski's trying to hold on to 11th. And here comes Hoskins. They look to go 3 wide for a moment. Think better of it. Crisco, he's going to have the bailout here. Not able to get along the inside of Mankowski. Hoskins also saying, nope, this is way too risky. Everyone taking a peek here as they go down the start-finish line straight, but not able to do anything. And look at this up front. Josh Robinson has taken over the race lead from Dwayne MacArthur. MacArthur's going to try and get back up there. He wants that race win here tonight at Pocono. Get a replay, instant replay of that pass we saw. Robinson's just going to look to the inside and make it through nice and clean. Robinson won't defend too hard here. playing it safe. They do not want to wreck any race cars late in the run, but now it's Robinson going to get some laps led. Our current points leader, he is using the draft of lap traffic to his advantage here. I believe that's going to be Green in front of them. Jonathan Green in the number 37 Ford Mustang. Green in that Oakley-sponsored machine, racing with Green Motorsports. He's on camera right now. Right behind him, you've got race leaders Josh Robinson and Dwayne MacArthur trying to make something happen. Robinson can do his best to hold on to it. The Micro Center, number 23, Toyota. But Dwayne MacArthur, he's very, very fast and very, very expensive. You've got two extremely talented drivers going to be battling for the lead here. It'll be 13 laps to go their next time by. Nobody knows what we're going to see here today, as lap traffic will very well be a factor. They're using the draft of Jonathan Green right now to maybe pick up some speed. But in front of him, you saw in that wide angle shot, there's a whole lot of lap traffic still left to play with. Dwayne MacArthur seems to have fallen off just a little bit here. He's about 0.2 of a second slower than Robinson was that last time by. I'm not sure that's going to be strategy we're seeing from the number 97, or maybe tire wear really coming into play. These guys have been pushing very, very hard this entire run. They have got over 25 laps on these sets of tires at this point in the race. In third place, you still have Patrick Milligan in the Ford. He's running kind of all by his lonesome here, clearing air in front and behind. He's about 4.9 seconds back from Dwayne MacArthur in second place, but he does have a 2.5 second advantage over fourth place. So if Milligan can run here and keep hitting his marks, he's looking very, very good for a top three here at Pocono. Especially after a rough race last week, he could use the points. So great to see the number 18 out there still charging hard. None of these drivers are quitters. That is one thing that is for certain. They're going to get out there and they're going to keep pushing all season long. This is not a series you see guys fade in and out of. They all stay here for quite a while. It's a lot of great racing and great camaraderie. Robinson still using the lap traffic, or soon-to-be lap traffic of Jonathan Green to use that draft and maintain the pace. Dwayne MacArthur watching and waiting and seeing if and when he'll be able to take a strike at the number 23 machine. Keeping those tires underneath him, keeping his head cool as well as the tires cool. As now Robinson, he's going to look to the inside of Jonathan Green's Oakley-sponsored race car. And here comes MacArthur using that draft just as long as he can to try and keep that gap closed once he finally breaks out of it. He knows once Robinson gets out of that draft, it's going to slow him down just a little bit. MacArthur will slide safely in front of Green. And we're getting ready for a final shootout here at Pocono. Last time by for our race leaders, Robinson with a 57.6, MacArthur with a 57.64. So they're running almost identical times, and MacArthur's going to stay glued to the rear bumper of the 23, I believe, from this point out. Both these guys have very similar tire strategies. Robinson came in on lap 41, MacArthur came in on lap 39. So Robinson does have a very, very slight tire advantage late in this run, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to really make a difference towards the end. I think they're both going to be pushing as hard as they can, and tire strategy is going to go straight out the window, as we expect to see these two drivers hanging out, especially as we get about 3 laps to go. Patrick Milligan still holding on to 3rd place. Al Turner 4th. Tom Ogle in 5th. He's moved up a ton of spots. Ogle in the number 11 machine. He is up 19 spots so far in that White Claw-backed race car. So well done to Ogle, not having the qualifying session he wanted today, but still able to make a lot of it. Salvage a whole lot of points here at Pocono and prevent those lead drivers from breaking away in the points championship. More lap traffic to contend with. That's the number 33 machine of Lewis Albee. He's going to go a lap down here. Robinson's going to do his absolute best to keep every little bit of lapped cars between him and MacArthur as physically possible. Nine laps to go. Robinson got a little bit of a break there. He's got to work that gap up to a little bit shy of a half second. But MacArthur will have the draft advantage going down the start and finish line straight, maybe able to pull just back up to Robinson. Let's see what it looks like going into turn 1. As yeah, that draft's good for an easy 1/10 of a second, maybe a little bit more, as MacArthur's able to whittle away that gap Robinson had. So I think just in a couple more straightaways, MacArthur's looking good to be back in striking distance, but he knows it may take a full lap to gain that half second if he finds himself unable to stay glued to the back bumper of Josh Robinson's number 23 machine. Josh Robinson, your race leader, he's got a 0.3 second advantage over Dwayne MacArthur in 2nd place. The laps are slowly ticking off out here today. As MacArthur, he is back in striking distance. Milligan still in 3rd. Milligan looking good. He's got a 3-second advantage over 4th place Tom Ogle. The reason I get excited is Ogle keeps moving up. We're going to take a quick look at Ogle here, who's been driving the wheels off that number 11 machine tonight and making moves all the way up. He's 4th place. He's 3.5 seconds back from 3rd place Patrick Milligan. Now 7 laps to go. If Ogle somehow manages to pull a podium out of this, it will be probably one of the best charges I've ever seen for the OBRL Racing League. He's already up 20 spots, still pushing hard, and he's 3.4 seconds back from Milligan. So does he have enough laps with 6 laps to go? I don't think the speed difference is going to be enough to make up all that time, but the fact that he's been able to do such a hard charge tonight, extremely impressive out of Ogle's number 11 machine. Behind Ogle, you got Dakota Pischke, Al Turner, Travis Rogers, all trying to run together up here. But it's that 3-car pack of Ogle, Pischke, and Turner you really got to keep an eye on. I don't think they're going to have enough laps to work together and catch up to the podium spot and try and whittle away at Milligan, who's out front running all by his lonesome. Milligan, the number 18 machine. Let's grab a wide-angle shot for you here and show Milligan out there all by himself. Doesn't have many cars in front of him, doesn't have many cars behind him, at least within 3 seconds either direction. As just there you can see that 3-car pack of Ogle, Pischke, and Turner trying to reel him in. Now, Milligan does have lap traffic ahead of him. He may be able to use that draft to his advantage and maybe at least put some time on Ogle, who is charging hard. It's 5 laps to go here at Pocono, and I think we're about to see a battle for the race lead shaking up. As Robinson still out front, MacArthur very, very close within striking distance of the number 23 machine. When and where are we going to see a move from MacArthur? We know he wants to get out there and he wants that win. A second place is still impressive, but to edge himself up in the points championship, he's got to finish in front of Robinson's number 23 machine. Robinson, our current points leader. MacArthur in second. As Robinson looked like he was trying to break the draft and maybe use lap traffic to his advantage. Lap traffic saying, hey, there's a race going on. I'm not in it. I don't want to interfere with this. Gets quickly out of the way. Nothing but professionalism from all of our athletes out on track right now, but it's 4 laps to go. Josh Robinson, Dwayne MacArthur currently running first and second. They've got a 7.8 second advantage over third place Patrick Milligan. Behind Milligan, it's 2.5 seconds back to Tom Ogle, who's up 20 spots. The questions remain. Will we see, if and when will we see the move from Dwayne MacArthur's number 97 machine going for that race lead? And will we see Patrick Milligan able to defend against Tom Ogle, who's been charging hard all night long? The competitor's going to come out of the turn 4 area of the raceway. They're going to stay glued nose to tail here. And we stress all the time how clean these racers are, but they're also very experienced. So will we see a possible bump and run situation from MacArthur on the entry one of these corners to try and upset the number 23 and push them wide so MacArthur can go to the inside? Is MacArthur going to try and do it entirely on draft and merit alone? There's a fine line between a well-executed bump and run and a takeout maneuver, so let's see who's going to play it safe and who's going to let it all hang out. Robinson doing everything he can to break the draft of Dwayne MacArthur. It's 0.3 of a second separate him, but MacArthur is going to stay glued to the rear bumper of the 23. 2 laps to go. When are we going to see a move from MacArthur? Is he going to try and settle second in points in place here at Pocono and just be happy with a very, very commanding podium finish? Milligan still comfortably in third place. He's got about a 2.5 second advantage over Tom Ogle in fourth. White flag will be flying this time by Robinson front, MacArthur second, Milligan third, Ogle fourth, Dakota Pischke in fifth. Nothing but great racing from all these competitors from start to finish. A fantastic run from everyone involved. Final lap, white flag is out. Are we going to see MacArthur able to do anything here, or is Robinson going to be able to hold on to it? We know just how long it takes to make up that time if you find yourself losing a little bit of speed. MacArthur about 2 cars back, coming out of turn 1 down the back stretch. It's a 0.2 of a second gap between the race leader and MacArthur. MacArthur's going to try and get a run here going into turn 2. Robinson's going to hold that inside line, very defensive. MacArthur looks to the inside, not able to make it there. He's got about one more shot. He's going to use this straightaway. He's 0.3 back, 3 car lengths. MacArthur may not be able to do anything here. He's going to drive it in very, very deep into turn 3. But it looks to me like Robinson's going to be able to hold on to it here. So that is going to be the breakdown. Robinson able to bring home another win, the number 23 machine. MacArthur with a second. And then we're going to cycle back. Patrick Milligan. You see some cars behind him, but he's still got a 2.6 second gap over Tom Ogle. Tom Ogle, your hard charger of the night, able to bring it home in 4th place. He's up 20 spots. And then let's talk about the bad luck award tonight. That's going to be Steve Thompson. Still out there fighting for a position. He's worked his way back up from all the way close to last to 13th tonight, so well done to Thompson, able to salvage a race here today and score some more much needed points. But man, great racing from all of our competitors here today. We're going to try and get these drivers. They're going to take their mandatory fun photos, the beautiful podium finishes we do here at OBRL. Trying to search for a camera angle. That's probably going to be the best one you're going to get all night. So it's going to be Robinson out front, MacArthur second, and Milligan third. A great run from all of these drivers here today. As we're going to watch Josh Robinson, number 23 machine, burn it down here at Pocono, the tricky triangle. We're going to get all the drivers into the podium booth here. Milligan may not be joining us in the booth, so we're going to take you first to second place. Dwayne MacArthur bringing it home in the number 97 machine. Great run out there, Dwayne. Just looks like you weren't quite able to squeeze around Robinson there at the end.
Yeah, it seems to be the story of my life following that 23 around at the end of the race.
You look good. I mean, was the car just too tight at that point to really do anything aggressive, or was it just you guys were so equal both on talent and speed, it just couldn't make anything happen without maybe risking your car or his?
That's pretty much the way I expected it to go down. It was too hard to get a run unless you're coming with the run, and I was all alone out there, so I was letting him come, and I thought he was going to push me longer, and I kind of stopped paying attention, and he got a run on me on 2, and then there was really not much else I could do with the lap cars were perfectly spaced for him.
Yeah, it looks like he was able to keep a couple of cars between himself and you throughout the run, but everybody did a great job out there tonight, from pros all the way to rookies. No cautions, no big moments, and it looked pretty clean. Is that what you saw from your point of view as well?
Yeah, lots of really good racing, real clean all the way through. Everybody we went by was doing a real good job out there. It's rare that we beat the Prince of Pocono, Stephen Thompson, but he had some brake problems, so we all capitalized on that.
Yeah, so Thompson looked like he may have gotten a speeding road penalty, and kind of a little bit of an upset allowed you guys to get up there. But hey, great job tonight, Dwayne. Before we let you sign off and enjoy your Sunday, who would you like to give a shout out to that may be listening along at home today?
Yeah, just a shout out to anybody listening, and of course, a big thank you to my sponsor, REG Customs. Go check them out for your custom die casts, and thanks, James. Good job, buddy.
Always a pleasure, Dwayne. We'll see you not next week. We have an off week, but then we're going to come back to Watkins Glens, which should sure be exciting.
That'll be a good time.
All right, we're waiting on our race winner, Josh Robinson, to make his way to the podium booth. And there we go. We got the number 23 machine. You've been up front a whole lot this season, and looks like things kind of just fell in your favor there as that run went on, Josh.
Yeah, my whole strategy was just to save some tire and be there at the end of a run, and that seemed to work out pretty well. Honestly, the aid of the race was Steve having some problem in the pits, because that hurt both him and Dwayne.
Yeah, I mean, great job. It looked like you were also able to use lap traffic very cleanly to get around and keep just a little bit of distance between yourself and MacArthur to kind of stall out his runs. Were you at all nervous cutting through that pack that maybe someone's going to make a mistake and possibly ruin a race tonight?
Not really. We've got a pretty good group of guys, and everyone's pretty respectful, and a couple guys that were running for position even just moved out of the way for us, so that was pretty awesome.
Now, Josh, I guess my final question for you is, how do you feel? We have an off week, and then we're going to the road course of this season. Is that something you're excited about, apprehensive? What are you feeling going into that round?
I'm pretty excited for Watkins Glen. Been trying to practice it a little more. I think I used to not like road courses, but the more I drive them, the more I start to like them.
Well done out there, as always, Josh. A pleasure having you up here in the podium booth. Before we let you sign off, who would you like to give a shout-out to that may be listening along at home?
I'd like to thank my teammates, Tom and Andrew. They did some pretty good coaching through that. They had some tough working up through the field during the race today. And then just thank you to my sponsor, Ogle Auto Sales.
Well, great job out there, Josh. Hope to see you do well when we come back from the break, and always a pleasure, my friend.
Appreciate it, James. Thanks for the broadcast.
And that is going to do it here for the Old Bastards Racing League Metro Ford Cup Series. Check them out, oldbastardsracing.com. You can get in on the action. Minimum age 35. Nothing but clean drivers out here each and every week, where we went the entire run at Pocono under green flag conditions. Well done to all of our drivers, especially Robinson, MacArthur, and Milligan, bringing it home in those podium spots. On behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, thank you all for tuning in, supporting your favorite racers, your favorite league, and maybe even your favorite broadcaster. We will be off next week, and then we will return for Watkins Glen as these guys try and navigate the left and the right-hand turns. Always a good show for the OBRL crew. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you next week.